Alright, so I've just input 7 PDFs of this new memory mapping app that I've kind of designed yesterday with GPT 4.5, GPT O3, and Gemini Pro 2.5. Then combine them with some Aura of Intelligence documents that I created in 2024. Then generated this mind map. So this is about the memory reminiscence app. Playful healing application, digitize and annotate pre-internet photos, videos, and ephemeral items. A.o.i orchestrated and human product owner steers vision, ethics QA, and guides it with language as well. To preserve analog memories, generate rich searchable metadata for things that are like pre-internet, catalyze reflective conversation, and then export it to the Aura of Intelligence. So, yeah, focusing on different personas and age groups and collections of people, whether it's one person or a group of people. Are they talking about living people or deceased family? Like creating doing archaeology on your family archives, basically, ancestor simulating. Yeah, it goes into all the ingestion layers, multimodal analysis of AIs, how to store the data, how to annotate, how to export so that other apps and it's usable, not just with the memory app, but it converts it to be usable in future systems like the Aura of Intelligence, which is designed to be a digital twin of body and mind. Then going into the technical architecture, how the different components work, the languages, the API keys, all the technical stuff that most people don't understand unless you're fluent in code or at least have done deep dives in learning how it all goes together. Then how different AIs will form teams that humans coordinate. Different development phases. Some code base blueprints. Bit of risk mitigation. AI generated metadata to support the human annotations and voiceovers, so having conversations about those things, and then that gets reduced to machine readable data sets so that it can be stored and recalled without overloading the system or getting lost or recalled in the wrong situation. And then conversationally helping people to create a choose your own adventure user experience to then revisit any memories or extrapolate from those memories different scenarios, like what would have happened if I made this decision, what might have happened if I made this decision back then, what might happen if I explore this idea out 5 years, or what happens if I you can you'll be able to come up with infinite questions. That's why it's choose your own adventure. Then privacy, accessibility, and inclusivity. So whether you're doing it by yourself, for yourself, or as a collective, or just as a public persona where everything's public. and group features, obviously. Then moving into extended reality and virtual reality memory palaces and futures simulations and such. So, and that is just the first version, really, because that was just memory mapper and memory mapping app for that. When I put all 7 files in, I created this second one and a 48-minute podcast overview. So this is adding all the Aura of Intelligence, how to build an Aura of Intelligence in Blender and Unity, how to build mixture of experts AIs, function caller AIs, and auto-generative agents, and then deeper into the mixture of experts. Customizing the Aura of Intelligence for dementia care and dementia recovery, and then looking at it from the perspective of the memory mapper being the entry point to this much broader system that even goes much broader. But yeah, that then maps to personalized AI support, dementia care, patient-centered approach, digital companions, memory assistance, decision-making support, personal engagement, persona mapping, behavior modeling, social connection facilitation, historic data collection, values assessments, preference analysis, behavior modeling, daily routines, observation, behavioral pattern recognition, personal trigger identification. So particularly in like avoiding anger modules in dementia care and stuff like that. We want to work out how to help people design their own joyful, responsible abundance and adhere to that. So facilitating social connections, relationships, sharing, circles of support, future state roadmap, adaptive learning algorithms, incorporating using, this is the human in the loop stuff, integrating with emerging technologies, Internet of Things devices, biometric, healthcare data, using augmented reality, virtual reality to visualize complicated data in a humanized, easy to understand way. Then the memory mapper app that we covered in that last one, that's kind of shrunk down here. Mobile first, reminiscence engine, multimodal photo story metadata tool, digitize, describe, annotate memories, AI orchestrated product team, feeds Aura of Intelligence knowledge graph, key components, all these different AIs to simplify the data capture, storage, analysis, recall, integration, and evolution, predictive modeling. Privacy also very heavily covered. Memory palaces, stuff like ancestor simulations, artifact pinning, simulate life trajectories, all that what if queries, AI agents, mixture of experts, AutoGen, teams of agents, conversible agents. So this kind of stuff leads into the possibilities of, like, if you see Star Trek, that simulation, the holodeck. Like if we go through all this kind of thought analysis and turn it into code, we can then do this for real-time virtual reality simulations, and then it's only a few like breakthroughs in making it more and more real. So yeah, it'll for education, for travel, for all sorts of things. It might end up being a new passport in the future, so people can travel knowing that they are who they are. Well, the countries will be able to understand people before they go, so you're not likely to get arrested. You're if you live up to what your aspirations are or your core values are when you're traveling. If you adhere to your own set core values, then you'll be great. And then that's via like building your aura of intelligence and data mapping and structures and stuff like that. So then that goes into 48 minutes, and I'll tack that on and see what you think. It'll be about an hour altogether. Enjoy.
Imagine for a moment if your entire life story, every cherished memory, every significant experience, what if all that could be woven into a dynamic, interactive, and, well, truly living digital companion? Not just some static archive you glance at now and then, but a dynamic entity that actively supports you. Through life's changes, especially maybe when cognitive challenges start to arise. This isn't just like a sci-fi fantasy anymore. It's really the core of what we're about to explore today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take a stack of really fascinating source materials, dig into them, unearth the most important nuggets of knowledge, and basically give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed on complex topics. Today we're taking a deep dive into something called the aura of intelligence. It's a pretty groundbreaking concept, one that really promises to revolutionize personalized AI support. What's truly remarkable, and what our sources reveal, is that while this might sound like some grand futuristic vision, it's actually the result of about a decade of passionate planning and brainstorming. Apparently, it started out as a deeply personal hobby project. But now, well, thanks to the explosive evolution of AI we're seeing everywhere, this long-held vision is, rapidly accelerating towards actual implementation. It's moving from blueprint to, potentially, reality. So our mission today is to unpack its most intriguing entry point, something called the Memory Mapping app. We'll explore how this mobile-first application isn't just, a simple digital scrapbook. It's envisioned as the actual gateway to a vast, interconnected ecosystem, one designed to create a really comprehensive, living digital twin of your life. And it does this by blending your deepest personal history with, well, cutting-edge artificial intelligence. Our insights for this dive come from a truly fascinating stack of documents. We've got these intricate blueprints for the overall aura of intelligence system, detailed plans specifically for this memory mapping app, some pretty visionary explorations into building an aura in Blender and Unity XR, so virtual reality aspects, and also strategic frameworks for how the AI backend works, things like mixture of experts, function callers, and AutoGen agents. These sources aren't just dry technical specs. They really reveal an incredible depth of thought. They show how this deeply personal, long-held vision is now becoming tangible, really boosted by the incredible AI advancements we're seeing. Okay, so let's unpack this concept first. The memory mapping app. It's described in the documents as a mobile-first, camera-first reminiscence engine. Yeah. But what does that really mean for you, as a potential user? Think of it less like a cold technical archiving tool and maybe more like a playful yet deeply healing application. Its purpose is basically to digitize, describe, and this is crucial, emotionally annotate all those pre-internet photos, right? Those dusty old videos, maybe forgotten bits of paper.
Yeah, like old concert ticket stubs or a handwritten recipe, maybe a kid's drawing you find in a box.
Exactly. Things that hold memories. So it's about more than just scanning old pictures. It's about breathing life into them, kind of extracting their essence and transforming what were once just static images into these dynamic, interactive narratives. This isn't just step one in a process. It's really seen as the foundational stitch in what could become a really rich, structured tapestry of your personal memories.
Yeah, and what's truly revolutionary here isn't just, preserving stuff. Lots of apps can scan photos. It's how this app tackles a really crucial, often overlooked challenge. Taking those passive static memories and turning them into an active, searchable, and deeply personal resource. The ultimate goal isn't just storage. It's making memories accessible, sure, but also deeply meaningful, especially, as you said, for individuals maybe navigating cognitive changes, like folks with early-stage dementia. By capturing not just the picture or the sound, but the stories, the context, the emotions tied to each memory, it lays the groundwork for a truly personalized support system down the line. Imagine recalling, say, a beloved family trip, not just by seeing a photo, but maybe hearing a loved one's voice describe it, remembering the emotions they felt,
Mhm.
and having all those little details linked together automatically. It's a much richer experience.
Okay, so how does it actually do that? How does it get from, a box of old photos or scattered digital files to something so rich and connected? What are these core functional layers that capture and enrich the memories?
Right. Well, it all kicks off with the ingestion layer. Think of this as the front door, the gateway for all the raw material of your past. And it's designed to be incredibly versatile and really user-friendly. So obviously, it handles direct camera capture for new photos or documents, and it offers basic edits right there in the app, cropping, rotating, simple stuff. But it goes quite a bit further. It supports bulk import from your existing camera roll or, Google Drive, Dropbox, wherever your digital history lives. So it can seamlessly bring potentially decades of photos and videos into the fold. Now, what's genuinely clever, and this is a huge practical advantage, I think, is it's designed to even auto-segment pages from physical albums.
Wait, how does that work?
Well, the idea is you just place an old photo album on a phone stand, point your phone's camera at it, and the app is designed to intelligently digitize and separate each page, maybe even recognize individual photos on the page.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes digitizing those huge old collections surprisingly simple. It really bridges that gap between your physical stuff and your digital life.
That auto-segmenting feature alone sounds like a massive help for anyone with like boxes and boxes of old family photos. But okay, once the photos or videos are in, how does it go from being just a scan or an import to something that understands the story behind the image?
Yeah.
It must be where the AI magic really starts happening, right?
Precisely. That's the next layer, the multimodal analysis engine. This is where the AI truly gets to work, almost like a team of digital detectives trying to understand the context of your memories. So once the raw memories are ingested, a whole suite of powerful computer vision models get activated. Think of things like MediaPipe, maybe YOLO-NAS for object detection, FaceNet for recognizing faces.
So it can tell who's in the photo automatically.
Exactly. Ideally, you wouldn't have to spend hours typing in names. The system learns to recognize the important people in your life from the photos you upload. And beyond just recognizing faces and objects, other advanced AI models, like maybe CLIP or BLIP2, generate preliminary captions and tags. So it might not just identify a beach scene, but tag it as family vacation at the shore, or potentially even identify the clothing era, adding layers of historical context automatically.
That's pretty sophisticated.
It is, and this initial metadata creation is a huge time saver, obviously, but it's also a significant leap beyond just, putting photos in folders. And crucially, it's not just about the visuals. Voice recordings play a huge part here. Imagine narrating a story about a picture directly into the app. Or even more powerfully, recording an elder's story about a specific moment captured in an old photo.
Yeah, capturing those oral histories.
Exactly. The app uses on-device transcription, like OpenAI's Whisper model, to transcribe these voice recordings in real time. This makes it incredibly accessible for voice-first interactions, especially helpful for people who might struggle with typing or maybe have low vision. Now, critically, all these extracted entities, the names, places, dates, events, keywords from the transcriptions, they don't just sit there in isolation. They feed into an evolving memory graph.
A memory graph,
Yeah.
a network.
Precisely. Think of it less like a static album and more like a giant interactive constellation map of your life. Every person, place, event becomes a node, a star in the constellation, and the connections between them show how they relate across your entire history.
So if I mention a trip to Paris,
The graph could instantly pull up all related photos from different years, maybe journal entries if you added them, even link to the people you were with. It paints a really holistic picture of that memory. And to add another layer, an even deeper layer of nuance, there's an emotional tagging module. This uses established frameworks like Plutchik's 8 basic emotions to classify feelings maybe detected from your voice tone during narration or the language used in a description or even analyzing facial expressions in photos.
so I might notice someone looks sad in a photo.
Potentially, yes. It might detect a glum facial expression, as the documents put it, and then perhaps gently prompt you. Tell me a bit more about how this moment felt. It enriches the memory with that emotional context, making it less about just facts and dates and much more about the actual feeling and experience.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. All this incredible analysis, the graph, the emotional tagging, it isn't just creating a fancy, searchable archive for you to browse passively. The documents emphasize that the app's user experience is designed to be adaptive and reflective. It guides you through a kind of branching narrative of your own life. It feels less like organizing pictures, and much more like a personalized conversational interview where the app is prompting you to tell your story.
Yes, exactly. This conversational module is really the heart of the UX, the user experience. It intelligently maintains a queue of context-aware prompts. These prompts aren't static. They dynamically adapt as you add content or express interest in certain themes. So it might start broadly asking things like, tell me about your school days, or maybe focus on a specific photo. How did this particular moment change you? But then, let's say while you're narrating a memory, you mentioned a beach vacation, Tua. The app, understanding this context, might intelligently suggest, would you like to see photos of the family at the shore? It proactively surfaces relevant memories from your digital archive.
So it's like having a conversation with an AI that knows your life story.
Essentially, yes. It's a sophisticated AI chatbot integrated deeply with your memories. The document suggests it could run directly on your device for maximum privacy, or, if you opt in, leverage cloud processing for more powerful, nuanced inference and conversation. It dynamically generates responses and questions based purely on your own curated memories. It's about creating an active dialogue with your past, where every interaction deepens your connection to your own story.
And it's smart that it's not a one-size-fits-all experience. That seems crucial for something so personal. The app is designed to adapt to different types of users, different personas, ensuring the interaction feels right for them. For instance, there's the memory keeper persona. This might be someone, say, aged 40 to 70. Maybe they're meticulously scanning old photo albums alone, or perhaps doing it with a partner. They might be narrating stories into a phone that's mounted on a stand.
Right. And for them, the app prompts with gentle, open-ended questions. Things like, who's this in the photo with you? How did this day actually feel? Or maybe even, what song was popular around this time? Or what song was playing?
And importantly, for those who might have low vision or maybe dexterity challenges, there's a gentle, voice-only interaction path available. That makes it incredibly accessible.
Then there's another persona, the family historian. Typically maybe someone younger, perhaps 25 to 45. They might use what's called a duo mode. This sounds perfect for like an intergenerational conversation. Picture a grandchild interviewing a grandparent.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so one person might be recording, maybe holding the phone, and the app intelligently acts as a kind of co-interviewer. It could suggest follow-up questions based on what the grandparent says, or proactively display related photos from the archive to help jog memories. It really seems designed to foster deeper connections and ensure those invaluable family stories are captured directly from the source, bridging generations.
And it even scales up. What about larger groups? The documents mention a community archivist persona too. This uses a group mode, which sounds ideal for small gatherings, maybe workshops or community history projects. Apparently, it can support multiple voices, intelligently tag who's speaking, and even project discussion questions onto a screen. It turns memory sharing into a real collective interactive adventure.
And there's even an event mode designed for, say, public photo booths. Imagine setting one up at a family reunion or a cultural festival. Participants could instantly tag themselves in photos, add their own short stories or memories on the fly, collaboratively building a communal memory archive right there and then.
That really highlights the collaborative and social potential baked into this app's design. It's not just about individual memory.
And this adaptability, this focus on conversation and different user needs, it brings up an important point. How does this specific blend of technology and human storytelling actually foster such a profound, deeply personal connection with the past? I think it's because it's not just about recalling cold facts or passively swiping through images. It's designed to encourage actively reliving emotions, rediscovering context, and really constructing a living narrative from the fragments of memory. The reflective design helps too. It organizes user stories into thematic chapters, maybe childhood, career, travels, whatever makes sense to the user. And the interface offers flexible ways to view this narrative. You can see a traditional timeline or explore that interconnected memory map graph we talked about. Or for a more, perhaps, spiritual or poetic touch, the documents mention visualizing memories located on a circular life wheel or maybe a tree of life, emphasizing growth and interconnectedness.
Different ways to visualize your own story.
Exactly. This whole comprehensive approach aims to make every interaction a step deeper into your personal story, making it feel truly yours.
Now, all this sophisticated functionality, especially dealing with such incredibly intimate personal data, it absolutely demands a robust and crucially secure foundation. What can you tell us about the underlying architecture? How is it actually built for performance, but also, maybe more importantly, for privacy?
Yeah, security and privacy are presented as absolutely paramount here. They seem truly baked into the core design, not just an afterthought. The system emphasizes a mobile-first and offline-first approach. The app is recommended for development using Flutter, which is known for its cross-platform UI capabilities. This helps ensure a lightweight install. The goal is under 150 millibit and impressively fast cold starts, meaning it should load in under 3 seconds.
That's important for usability.
Definitely. And crucially, the design specifies that all core functions, browsing, annotating, maybe even some basic analysis run locally using an Exolite cache on the device. It only syncs with a cloud backend, something like Supabase as mentioned, when you're online and you actively choose to sync.
So you can use it anywhere, even without internet.
That's the goal. You could be on a subway or in a remote area and still browse, edit, and add even your most sensitive memories without needing connectivity. It ensures a smooth, uninterrupted experience while keeping your data private by default. Now, for the more intensive AI processing, the heavy lifting, the system aims to smartly balance privacy and power. On-device machine learning handles the quick tasks like initial face detection or basic transcription. This ensures that sensitive data largely remains local by default. However, for heavier inference, maybe running large language models for deeper analysis or very complex tasks that need significant computational power, the system can leverage scalable cloud containers. But, and this is key, only if the user explicitly opts in, it's not automatic.
So you have control over where the processing happens.
Precisely. This flexible architecture means you get the best of both worlds. Local privacy for your everyday interactions and access to powerful cloud processing when needed for more advanced features, all managed securely, likely through queued tasks.
Okay, and the backend system that manages all this data if you do choose to sync, how does it handle this incredibly rich, multi-dimensional information, especially making it instantly searchable and interconnected?
The backend is envisioned using fast API microservices. These communicate efficiently using modern protocols like gRPC or GraphQL, connecting to a specialized database called a vector database. Pinecone is mentioned as an example.
Vector database, why is that important?
Because vector databases are really good at storing and searching based on meaning and context, not just keywords. They store what are called semantic embeddings. This is how the AI understands the relationships and nuances in your data. And it allows for incredibly powerful semantic search queries. So instead of just searching for the word cooking, you could potentially ask something much more nuanced, like, show me memories of cooking that feel nostalgic, or find photos where grandma looks happy.
Ah, I see. That's a level of discovery way beyond a standard photo album search.
Exactly. And on the security side, beyond the default on-device processing, if you do sync data to the cloud, the spec calls for AES 256 encryption at rest. Industry standard, very strong. Authentication uses modern, more secure standards like passkeys or OpenID Connect, moving away from traditional passwords. And critically, users retain full control. You can even lock specific memories or anonymize parts of them, like blurring faces in certain photos if you wanted to share something but maintain privacy. It really is designed as a privacy-first system.
That feels like a huge distinction from many apps today. So when you compare this visionary app to existing tools out there, apps that let you archive photos or create digital scrapbooks, it really sounds like it's aiming for a completely different league.
It absolutely is. I mean, while it might share some surface-level similarities with maybe a digital memory book, like the Inspire D Dementia app that was mentioned as a reference point, it's designed to be far richer, far more dynamic. Instead of just adding, say, a static voice note to a photo, this app actively weaves these richly annotated moments into a non-linear, AI-guided narrative that is responsive to you. And that enables the truly powerful semantic search we just discussed, going way beyond simple keyword matching. Plus, it's designed for interoperability, which is also key. It's planned to support standard export formats, like JSON, which would use the specific schema for the broader Aura of Intelligence system, or GEDCOM, which is standard for family tree software, allowing easy integration there. It even mentions options for generating a simple PDF scrapbook or a basic WebXR memory gallery stub.
So your data isn't trapped.
Exactly. Your invaluable personal data is never intended to be locked into just this one app. It's explicitly designed to feed into that much larger, evolving ecosystem, fulfilling its role as the crucial entry point.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the bigger picture then? The memory mapping app, as incredibly powerful and intimate as it sounds, isn't just conceived as a standalone product. It's explicitly theorized, designed really, as the entry point for something much, much larger, this Aura of Intelligence platform. This is where that personal memory tapestry, meticulously woven by the app, gets transformed into the foundational data for profound digital twin of your entire life. And this is where that decade of theoretical planning, that hobby project origin story, really starts to take shape, massively accelerated by today's AI capabilities.
Yeah, if you connect the dots to that broader vision, the rich, nuanced data, the memories, the emotions, the connections collected and structured by the memory mapping app, that becomes the essential foundational understanding required for the main Aura of Intelligence system to provide truly personalized, proactive, and hopefully compassionate care. It's the critical difference, isn't it, between some generic digital assistant giving you reminders and one that genuinely understands your unique essence, your life-specific path, your values. And it seems particularly focused on being tailored for individuals facing diverse cognitive challenges. The Aura of Intelligence system, at its core, is rooted in the principles of patient-centered care, ensuring every interaction it facilitates is meaningful, relevant, and above all, dignified. Its initial planned minimum viable product, the MVP, focuses on a simple, guided interface, like a questionnaire designed to meticulously map out your past, your present situation, and even your anticipated future hopes or concerns.
And the answers go straight into the AI's knowledge base.
Exactly. The answers are directly converted into a robust vector database, forming that intelligent knowledge base for the advanced large language models and other generative AI tools to draw upon for providing support.
Okay, so to achieve that really deep, holistic understanding of an individual, the system has to go way beyond just remembering facts and dates from the memory app. It delves into something called persona mapping, which sounds like diligently crafting a dynamic, evolving profile of the individual's intricate life tapestry. How exactly does it build this incredibly comprehensive understanding of someone's unique identity?
Well, it starts with really comprehensive historical persona data collection. This is where the system is designed to leverage an incredibly diverse array of sources to paint a vivid, multi-dimensional picture. It involves potentially analyzing personal documents, old letters, diaries looking for authentic narratives, maybe even handwriting patterns. Images, especially photographs from the memory app, serve as those powerful conduits for reminiscence therapy, capturing not just moments, but the emotional echoes. Audio and video media voice recordings, old home videos are used to rekindle spoken stories, forgotten songs, maybe even the familiar cadence of a loved one's voice. That provides comfort, but also invaluable context.
It pulls from many places.
Potentially, yes, with user permission, of course. Tailored surveys could be used to fill information gaps, capturing subjective insights. Official records, like education or employment history, help piece together chronology and achievements. And deeply personal narratives, like journals or even digital blogs, if available, could offer an intimate window into thoughts, aspirations, life's ups and downs. All this raw, rich data is then meticulously used to build a timeline. The system precisely charts significant dates, birthdays, anniversaries, key life events, but it also aims to map locations tied to profound emotions or formative experiences. Maybe a childhood home, the park where a proposal happened, the cafe where lifelong friendships were forged.
Places that mean something.
Exactly. And critically, it also meticulously maps relationships, family, friends, professional connections, providing that essential social context for truly empathetic and relevant interactions later on. It's about creating that rich, interconnected fabric of a life.
But understanding someone isn't just about their history or their connections. It's also about what truly drives them, right? What gives their life meaning. How does the Aura of Intelligence try to capture those core values, those intrinsic beliefs that make each of us unique?
That's where values assessment comes in, and the documents highlight this as a critical component. Because while memory of specific events might fade, core values often remain pretty steadfast. The system works to understand and then align its interactions with the individual's core ethics, their beliefs, whether they're spiritual, philosophical, cultural, and their life priorities. Is family paramount? Is achievement key? Is community contribution central? It tries to distill these into concise value statements like family always comes first or integrity is crucial. But crucially, it doesn't just leave them as abstract concepts. It attempts to link these values to significant memories or life events from the memory graph that exemplify them.
Grounding the abstract.
Precisely. So a deeply held belief in, say, hard work might be tied to specific memories of overcoming early career challenges. This makes conversations or suggestions from the aura feel much more meaningful and resonant. It ensures that any prompts or suggestions from the AI are, ideally, in harmonious alignment with that individual's deepest sense of self.
Okay, and what about the smaller day-to-day details, the routines, the preferences that make life feel comfortable and familiar? That seems especially important for someone who might be navigating cognitive shifts.
Absolutely. That falls under preference analysis, which sounds simple but is actually quite profound in this context. This involves comprehensively identifying interests, meticulously cataloging both objective and nuanced subjective likes and dislikes, and precisely mapping daily routines. So it captures hobbies, talents, passions, maybe a love for knitting, a deep appreciation for jazz music, which allows it to suggest genuinely relevant activities or conversation topics. It aims to differentiate between objective preferences, like I always prefer chocolate ice cream, and more nuanced subjective ones, like I enjoy classical music generally, but I specifically prefer listening to jazz when I'm with friends.
Subtle distinctions matter.
They really do. And it meticulously maps routines, preferred wake-up times, specific meal habits, maybe that cherished ritual of reading the newspaper every single morning with a cup of tea. This detailed understanding allows the aura to provide timely prompts or suggestions that contribute to that feeling of familiarity and comfort. It provides crucial anchors in the face of cognitive challenges, making daily life feel more predictable and secure.
Okay, so moving from understanding who someone is, their values, their preferences, to predicting how they might behave. This sounds incredibly crucial for delivering effective, proactive care, especially as the sources mentioned, for individuals with dementia where behaviors can sometimes be varied or seem unpredictable. How does the aura of intelligence plan to tackle behavior modeling?
Yes, behavioral insights are presented as absolutely key for proactive and truly personalized care. The system is designed to observe and analyze daily routines with remarkable precision. It systematically logs activities, noting timestamps, durations, and even co-occurring events. Like noticing someone often reads while listening to classical music. This detailed observation helps it identify sequences, routines, and cycles. Maybe that Sunday gardening ritual, a weekly video call with family, a monthly book club meeting. Once these patterns are identified, the system can then potentially automate gentle reminders that subtly bolster independence. Things like medication alerts, reminders about upcoming birthdays of loved ones, or maybe just a simple nudge to stay hydrated through the day. Building on that routine observation, behavioral pattern recognition uses more advanced AI algorithms. These algorithms intelligently cluster behaviors by type, differentiating between hobbies, essential tasks, social interactions. They also try to identify emotional tones associated with behaviors, like noticing someone tends to sing when they seem happy or becomes quiet when reflective. It considers social context too. Are they doing group exercises or taking solitary walks? This allows it to detect subtle anomalies and maybe emerging new patterns, like a sudden disinterest in a previously loved hobby or a significant change in sleep patterns. That enables the system to adapt its support dynamically.
So it learns and adapts over time.
Exactly. And by analyzing this rich historical data, the aura of intelligence can then attempt to predict likelihoods of future behaviors. For instance, if a pattern emerges where restlessness often seems to follow 2 consecutive days spent mainly indoors, the system might proactively suggest, how about a short walk outside today? Or maybe suggest a change of scenery, anticipating needs before they're even consciously realized by the individual or their caregivers.
That's fascinating. And what about the other side of behavior, avoiding distress or agitation? How does it handle identifying and maybe managing potential triggers that could negatively impact someone's well-being?
That's identified as being at the core of potential trigger identification, which is a vital aspect of providing compassionate care. The system aims to preemptively identify environmental triggers, like loud noises, emotional triggers, maybe specific word or topics, or even subtle physical triggers like hunger, thirst, or pain that might lead to agitation, distress, or discomfort. It tries to map these triggers to specific observed behaviors by looking for causal relationships. For instance, if someone consistently becomes agitated after exposure to loud, unexpected noises, it also interprets potential triggers based on the individual's known preferences, their current inferred emotional state, or potential unmet physical needs.
So it tries to prevent problems before they start.
That's the goal. Crucially, this allows for proactive avoidance of known undesirable triggers, promoting overall well-being and a sense of calm. If, say, crowded places are identified as a known trigger for anxiety for someone, the aura might suggest visiting a local park during quieter off-peak hours, or perhaps engaging in a calming indoor activity instead, helping to ensure a more harmonious and comfortable environment.
Finally, one last piece of this puzzle. Human connection. It's undeniably vital for everyone's mental and emotional well-being. How does the aura of intelligence specifically plan to support and foster those crucial social connections, which can be challenging sometimes?
Maintaining and fostering social connections is framed as absolutely integral to mental well-being. These connections serve as powerful anchors to the past and also vital bridges to the future, especially for those navigating cognitive changes. This system includes relationship visualization. It graphically maps the individual's entire social network, highlighting significant relationships, from primary caregivers to immediate family, close friends. This map itself could aid social engagement, maybe even facilitating automated, personalized greetings or conversation starters for interactions with those connections. For moment sharing, it intelligently aggregates photos, videos, and other multimedia from the various circles of support: family, friends, caregivers. This creates that rich tapestry of cherished, shared moments we talked about earlier. Then sophisticated algorithms can trigger reminiscence based on various cues, maybe the time of day, the current location, or even the inferred mood.
Like a rainy day reminding you of a past event.
Exactly. A rainy day might subtly prompt a video clip of a past monsoon gathering, or a sunny morning might surface a memory from a beach vacation. And the platform is designed to be highly collaborative. Family and friends can contribute their own photos, videos, and stories to these shared media stores, enriching the overall memory bank and fostering a true community of care around the individual.
That makes sense. And what about the broader support network? Beyond immediate family, maybe professional care teams, community programs. How does the aura integrate that whole web of support?
That's where the concept of circles of support comes in, mapping the entire ecosystem around the individual. The system meticulously maps out every aspect of the support network, from professional care teams providing medical and therapeutic assistance to community programs offering engaging activities and socialization opportunities. It then aims to intelligently recommend specific engagements tailored to each relationship type. For example, it might suggest memory jogging games suitable for grandchildren to play with their grandparent during a visit, or perhaps recommend specific therapeutic exercises for professional caregivers to integrate into their daily routine with the individual. Critically, it's designed to constantly monitor for subtle shifts, changes in needs, expressed preferences, or overall well-being indicators, and then provide real-time notifications to the relevant stakeholders: the family member, the caregiver, maybe even the doctor, ensuring everyone in the support circle is informed, on the same page, and can respond effectively and proactively to best support the individual.
Okay, let's unpack this next level then. Once all these incredibly intricate memories and data points are mapped by the memory mapping app, and then profoundly enriched by the wider aura of intelligence platform, what do you actually do with them? How do you experience such a rich, complex digital twin of your own life? This sounds like it goes beyond just looking at a screen. This is where the documents talk about immersive worlds, using extended reality XR and virtual reality VR, transforming that intricate digital twin into a truly immersive, interactive experience.
Yeah, and what's genuinely fascinating here, I think, is how these planned immersive landscapes could allow users to actively wander through their story, reinforcing recall and deepening engagement in a way that traditional interfaces, flat screens, simply can't match. This system enables the creation of highly personalized virtual environments. Your tagged memories, sourced from the app and enriched by the aura, can be placed into an XR or VR memory palace.
A memory palace.
Yeah.
Like the ancient technique.
Exactly like that, but updated for modern tech. Imagine stepping into a virtual recreation of your ancestral home, maybe, or perhaps a serene, symbolic, mythic forest. And in this virtual space, each room, or maybe each landmark, holds a memory artifact. It could be a photograph floating there, a recording of a voice you can activate, or even a full 3D scene meticulously reconstructed from details in your past memories. You might literally walk through a virtual version of your childhood bedroom and see pinned Polaroids on the wall that trigger stories when you look at them. Or maybe follow a holographic star path that leads you into exploring hypothetical future scenarios, visualizing retirement, exploring health outcomes.
So it's not necessarily just a solitary reflective experience then. Can others join in and explore these digital memories alongside you? That sounds incredibly powerful for shared family experiences.
Absolutely. The system is envisioned for collaborative exploration. You could imagine family members, even if they're geographically distant, gathering together in a VR meeting space. And within that space, they explore a shared family memory palace together. They could reminisce, share stories triggered by the virtual artifacts, perhaps even be gently guided by an AI narrator that surfaces relevant memories based on their ongoing conversation.
Wow, that's a whole new way to connect.
It really is. It could not only aid individual memory recall, but also profoundly deepen engagement and connection for everyone involved, creating a completely new way to collectively share and preserve a family's history and stories.
And beyond just re-experiencing the past in these immersive ways, it sounds like this technology could be incredibly powerful for personal reflection, maybe even planning for the future.
It is indeed. The Aura system, using these incredibly rich, structured memories, is theorized to be able to simulate various life trajectories and future simulations. Your meticulously built life story essentially becomes a dynamic digital twin. And this twin can be projected into hypothetical futures, allowing you to visualize and explore possibilities like forecasting different retirement scenarios, understanding potential health outcomes based on simulated lifestyle choices, or even exploring alternate paths. What if I had taken that job offer? Or what if I'd pursued a different career path?
Asking those what-if questions.
Exactly. The integrated large language model is designed to fluidly answer these what-if queries. It could even potentially role-play as, say, a future descendant asking you questions about your life, making the digital twin truly interactive and alive. It's a bit like having a living, evolving conversation with an ancestor from 100 years ago, or maybe projecting yourself forward. It's a concept many futurists have dreamed about.
Okay, now this is where the theoretical planning gets really fascinating, maybe a bit abstract, but visually stunning in concept. The source material talks about the underlying data structure having, and I'm quoting here, the latent potential to be fully representing the base chakra of a complete unique human experience in the multiverse. It's certainly a deep thought. How does this kind of, well, almost spiritual or philosophical framework translate into something visually intuitive for navigating such immense and personal data?
Yeah, it's a very layered concept. It brings up a fascinating question. How does this abstract, almost symbolic representation of data within a 3D space actually empower the large language model computations needed for a truly spatial interactive aura? The core visual metaphor described for navigation within this theoretical framework is a set of 7 nested tories. Think of a torus as a donut shape. So the red torus, for example, is conceptually mapped to the base chakra in yogic philosophy. It represents foundational aspects of early human experience, the body, the mind, core activities, observations, the environment, and the earliest narratives the observer forms about themselves and the world.
So the shapes represent categories of experience.
In a symbolic way, yes. But it's not just about abstract shapes. These tories form a kind of symbolic code. The edges, the faces, the colors, the lines on these tories are conceptually equivalent to tables of information you'd find in a traditional relational database. And the spatial relationships between points within this multi-tory vector space are crucial for the machine learning algorithms, how they store and retrieve long-term and short-term memory embeddings. The real ingenuity potentially comes to life through interactive VR tools. Imagine a user in a VR environment. They access tool menus that allow them to quickly embed new information, a new memory, a new insight, a new connection. They can visually connect these new inputs into existing strings, loops, or other data variables within this complex 3D structure. These new inputs then automatically embed themselves as higher dimensional vectors within the appropriate torus structure, and importantly, leave a precise trace address record in their associated data tables in the backend.
So it's a visual way to interact with incredibly complex data.
Exactly. It's about creating a tangible, intuitively navigable interface for incredibly complex, multidimensional personal data, making it easier, potentially more natural for humans to interact with and understand AI-driven insights about their own life's data in a deeply personal and spatial way. It offers a potential way of interacting with information that feels more aligned with our human intuition, moving beyond flat lists and spreadsheets.
Now, none of this futuristic visualization or deep interaction would truly be possible without an incredibly sophisticated AI backend, right? An engine room capable of orchestrating all these complex processes.
Yeah.
This project isn't just banking on a single monolithic AI. The documents talk specifically about a mixture of experts and using AutoGen agents working together in concert. How does this intricate AI orchestration actually work behind the scenes?
Right. The engine room of the Aura system relies on a sophisticated AI architecture known as mixture of experts. MoE large language models. This approach involves designing, training, and deploying teams of specialized AI agents. You can think of it like assembling a highly skilled human team where each member is an expert in their specific field. So you might have an AI agent expert in healthcare, another in finance, one focused on social sciences, another on advanced technology, and so on. Systems like FastMo are mentioned, which are designed to efficiently handle these large-scale MoE models, especially in distributed computing environments using multiple GPUs.
It's more efficient.
Potentially, yes. It means the system can scale its intelligence by selectively activating only the necessary specialized experts for a given task or query, rather than having to run a single, massive, generalized model for every single interaction. This makes the system potentially incredibly efficient and highly adaptable to complex, nuanced scenarios requiring diverse expertise.
Okay, so if you have all these specialized experts, how does the system intelligently know which expert or combination of experts to call upon for a specific task or question? It sounds like you definitely need a conductor for this AI orchestra.
You absolutely do. And that role is managed by a sophisticated component described as a function definer and caller. Imagine a fine-tuned large language model acting as the central intelligence, the conductor. Frameworks like Hugging GPT are mentioned as analogous. This LLM controller is responsible for first defining the functional requirements and the API definitions for all the expert agents. Then, when a user interacts or a situation arises, it interprets the scenario or the query and accurately calls upon the appropriate expert agent, or maybe a sequence of agents, from that mixture of experts team. Now, what's really innovative and I think incredibly important for a system dealing with such personal data is that this system is designed to be run with a human in the loop.
So a person can oversee it.
Yes. This allows for a collaborative discovery process. Humans can potentially work with the function definer AI to generate all the necessary functions for the agents initially, and then further train the function caller AI to organize the optimal order of calls and actions for different scenarios. This ensures not only efficiency, but also provides crucial human guidance and ethical oversight in how the AI operates and makes decisions within the system.
And to ensure quality, reliability, and precision within this complex network of interacting agents, especially when dealing with incredibly personal life data, there must be some inherent checks and balances built in, right? How does the system guarantee accuracy and appropriate responses?
Absolutely, checks and balances are framed as paramount. The system architecture integrates multi-agent chat with checks and balances within its simulation and operational environment. This means you have dedicated task agents performing specific functions, but you also have a supervisory agent whose job is to review their work, and a communication agent managing the flow between them. The supervisory agent is critical here. It reviews the work performed by the task agents, provides constructive feedback, and can request revisions if the quality isn't sufficient or if the output doesn't align correctly with the user's profile or the task requirements.
Like quality control for AI agents.
Exactly. It ensures crucial checks and balances are intrinsically part of the process at all times. This system can integrate dynamic conversation patterns, reflecting realistic team interactions, and crucially allows for continuous human-in-the-loop oversight to maintain the highest standards of accuracy, empathy, and adaptability. Now, what's truly ambitious and foundational for the Aura's potential deep understanding is the concept detailed around life simulation for training experts. This is described as a comprehensive framework designed specifically to train these AutoGen AI agents within incredibly detailed simulated environments. The ultimate, very long-term goal seems to be creating a formula for simulating an entire human lifetime, enabling the training of AI experts in virtually every field of civilian lifestyle, academic pursuit, and even corporate excellence, all within the simulation.
Wow, simulating a whole life to train AI.
That's the concept. It involves collecting incredibly detailed inputs to shape the simulation, things like simulated age, allotted learning hours, daily routines, specific focuses for the simulation, like learning a skill or navigating social challenges. All of this shapes the learning trajectory and experiences of the AI agents within that simulation.
So it's essentially like creating these virtual individuals, these AI entities that can learn and grow through an entire simulated life. They absorb countless experiences to build a profound understanding of human existence.
Precisely. It involves defining distinct agent definitions for each major simulated life stage. Baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, each endowed with specific attributes and behaviors relevant to that stage. For instance, simulated babies might focus on sensory exploration and basic motor skills, toddlers on language acquisition and early social interaction, while adult agents engage in complex problem-solving, career development simulations, maybe even simulated self-actualization journeys. These agents form bonds, solve simulated problems, navigate simulated careers, and evolve over the simulated lifespan. The system also includes dynamic components to make it realistic, integrating nuanced time allocation functions, detailed daily activities, complex developmental stage transitions, and even external influences like simulated cultural trends or global events. It even accounts for cyclical and seasonal adjustments within the simulation, and it gets even more granular. It attempts to quantify even internal human processes using base and expanded formulas. For example, it calculates internal metrics for the agents like simulated thoughts per minute, words per minute typing, words per minute reading, words per minute speaking, and even urges per minute representing impulses or desires.
That's incredibly detailed.
It is, and these base formulas are then expanded with multipliers for different simulated cognitive states like casual thought versus urgent problem solving or hyper-focused attention, maybe even simulating cognitive processes during REM sleep. The goal is to represent cognitive and verbal processes with incredible granularity and realism. This level of detail allows the AI agents to develop an internal model of human experience within the simulation that is exceptionally nuanced.
And it sounds like this whole simulation framework is built on layers of understanding, really aiming to replicate the full complexity of a human experience, almost like building a multi-layered virtual brain for the AI agents to inhabit.
It absolutely is structured that way conceptually. The framework uses sophisticated submodels, separate but integrated models for cognitive development, social interaction simulation, and physical activity simulation. These have intricate weighting and coordination logic to ensure they work together harmoniously, mirroring how these aspects develop and interact in actual humans. A crucial component supporting all this is the training material simulation. This meticulously defines things like vocabulary levels appropriate for different simulated ages, provides simulated content by subject area, math, science, arts, etc., incorporates diverse multimedia input streams like simulated documentaries, movies, music, and creates detailed simulated lesson plans for each life stage. All of this is integrated to precisely shape the agent's learning capabilities and knowledge acquisition within the simulation, effectively giving them a rich and varied life experience from which to learn and build their expertise.
So you're not just running this incredibly complex simulation, you're also observing it from multiple distinct perspectives to gain the richest possible insights from it. That sounds like a meta level of understanding being built.
Exactly. To provide a truly richer simulation output and enable deeper analysis, the system design includes specialized observers. These run in concert with the main simulation algorithm, but each offers a unique lens, a different viewpoint. You have an environment observer that describes the overall simulation environment, the context, the setting, providing a macroscopic, objective view of the digital world the agent lives in. Then, a character environment observer focuses specifically on what the main character agent within the simulation directly observes or interacts with. This gives a more subjective, first-person perspective from the agent's point of view. And finally, a narrator observer continually watches the main character agent, narrating their inferred reactions to stimuli and the environment, adding a layer of interpretative storytelling and potential emotional context to the raw simulation data. This multi-layered observation approach enriches the simulation's depth, providing comprehensive and potentially deeply human-like insights that are considered invaluable for training the expert agents that will ultimately power the aura of intelligence. #outro.
Wow. We've taken a truly remarkable deep dive today. We've journeyed all the way from the intimate, very personal act of digitizing cherished photographs with a memory mapping app to envisioning this vast, interconnected aura of intelligence ecosystem. It's really a conceptual journey from analog memories stored in boxes to a living, interactive digital twin of a person, one powered by these sophisticated AI agent teams, potentially experienced through immersive XR environments, and all underpinned by an unwavering commitment, at least in theory, to personalized ethical care. This is a system designed not just to help us recall the past, but potentially to actively support and enhance our present and future lives. And it's fascinating how it builds on that decade of theoretical planning, that personal hobby origin, now rapidly accelerating towards potential implementation because of how fast AI is evolving.
Yeah, and hopefully you, the listener, now have a unique shortcut to understanding this groundbreaking concept. How a mobile app, something seemingly simple like scanning photos, could actually be the pivotal entry point to a future where AI aims to deeply understand and support our individual needs, preserving what makes each of us unique across our entire lifetime. It's really about potentially empowering lives through thoughtful, integrated technology, moving beyond just creating simple digital archives towards building truly living, adaptive digital companions that might resonate with our deepest values and experiences.
So maybe final thought to leave you with. What new insights about yourself or perhaps your loved ones could emerge? What forgotten stories might resurface, and what new possibilities might unfold for connection or understanding? If your entire life's narrative became an interactive, living digital twin, one capable of reflecting your deepest values and proactively supporting your well-being, what new chapters could you potentially write for yourself, with your own personal aura maybe by your side?